All right, all right. Hey, how is everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of the Cultured Misfits podcast. Starting this episode out a little bit differently because this episode happens to be very different. So I figured I'd do the right thing and manage your expectations because I know that you're used to the general format that we have fallen into with this podcast, which is, you know, some easy banter in the beginning, maybe some updates, then, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, shot a clock, and then we just get into the meat of things. However, this week was different. First, it's J Fig's birthday. We were recording on her actual birthday. So she was out, right? No one can blame her for that. So that left it to Rell and I. And we invited Ceasar Rodney, who was on a few episodes before back, to sit in. Well, C showed up on time, but Rell was late. He comes into the studio, we sit down, he starts commenting on some of my Instagram posts, those reels, promoting the podcast, and the conversation just felt so good that I just went ahead and hit record, and we just kind of got into it, and we just flowed until Rell came in. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how things started, and then 3 hours later, we're done the episode. Because of the length of the episode, I'm like, all right, well, this is going to be at least 2 episodes, if not 3, because I mean, 3 hours, shit, 2 hours, and what we normally do is kind of a long time. So we're going to respect your time, and I'm going to break this up. I'm about to start actually editing the episode now. So I can't tell you how it's going to shake out in terms of whether it's going to be 2 episodes or 3. Either way, now you know what's coming. Now you know what you can settle in, and you can just enjoy the conversation with C's and I, because that's going to be the first episode. And I did a lot of shit talking, so be prepared for that. But I know you'll enjoy it. So sit back, relax. Oh, and please share, please comment, please rate, do all those things to help us grow. And for those of you who have been supporting all along, I love you for that. For those of you who have just kind of signed on and gotten to the groove, I love you for being here. Doesn't matter if it's only been a week, 2 weeks, or whatever. I appreciate you joining the party. So, all right, enough of me rambling. Or this is not rambling. There's actually reason for me talking. But before I run into Ramble Town, I'm going to move into the real content. Cultured Misfits podcast. Let's go. Yeah. So the Sesame Street record, the original cast record. I used to play that joint all the time as a little youngin, and yeah,
The elephant looked crazy.
Like, oh, Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Yeah, they had to get rid of him. He's not even there no more, for real.
He's not?
No. The only person that's there in terms of like a cast member besides the monsters is Mr. Allen.
I don't even know who the fuck Mr. Allen is.
I'm watching it now because I do have a son.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I got a 7-month-old, so
okay,
he's like the Asian man.
So they got rid of Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Yeah, the ugly motherfucker. Look at his eyelashes. Like, you can't see it from here, but y'all know.
I can see, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. That nigga's ugly.
Listen, man, Sesame Street was created to combat racism, right?
In what way?
To educate. I believe so. I believe that was the story. That's the story behind the motivation of it, yeah.
To educate?
To educate, to help open, like, to actually provide educational resources for underprivileged or underserved communities. So that was the whole point of Sesame Street. So, I mean, you learn a lot, right?
From Sesame Street?
Yeah.
I just found out they did math the other day besides like the Dracula guy. Like,
all right, C's, I gotta ask you, did you watch Sesame Street coming up or no?
My whole thing was like PBS, like wherever was on there, like
okay.
Yeah, like the animal shows and shit like that. I like the wildlife. Wildcrats. I mean, I'm of a different generation. I mean, Sesame Street was in everyone's childhood for sure.
Yeah, but that iteration, okay, I got you. I understand. Yeah, I understand. So, because I'm an experienced dude. So
they don't even have all the celebrities on there. Sesame Street nowadays like that they used to.
Yeah, because celebrities is fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, who would you have on there nowadays? Either,
well, I mean, to even want to be on there, you know what I mean? Like that's the key. Like, it's interesting because I was listening. There was a clip about KRS-One talking about the record Self Destruction. Are you familiar with that record?
No.
Okay, so in the 90s, late 80s, it was early 90s. No, it was, early 90s. They did a record called Self Destruction.
Okay.
And it was about just how the community, we're destroying ourselves. And it had all the prominent East Coast rappers. They all spit half a verse, 8 bars.
Okay. How long is the song?
3 to 4 minutes, I believe. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Yo, and it
sounds familiar.
Public Enemy. It's like Public Enemy. So KRS-One, Public Enemy. Who else? I mean, everybody. I mean, they just jump in. And it's interesting because after he did that record, the West Coast reached somebody on the West Coast, hit him up and was like, yo, how you forget about us? Like, we want to be part of this. We want to be part of it. So KRS-One gave the blessing for them to do their own version, like it's a different version, but the same type of record. And I can't even remember what the name of the damn song is now.
Who was on that one? Do you know at least?
It was all the way. So yeah, why don't I act like I got the internet right here? So the Self-Destruction record. By the way, this is the Cultured Misfits podcast.
Oh, we started. Yeah,
we started. Yeah. We just came in. We just came. Hey, hi. Let me clap it up. So we're starting, and I feel like I don't think Rell is gonna come. So it's Jay Figg's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jay. We will celebrate that properly. And then Rell, I don't know where Rell is. And so I said today, but she might have forgot. Sometimes she forgets these things. So
I do it on what? Tuesdays and whatever.
Well, we usually record on Sundays, and we were supposed to record this past Sunday, but what happened was it was my nephew's birthday. I forgot. We had it scheduled. I know, right? It was fucked up. I forgot it was my nephew's birthday, and we always get together. So, and we had, Elsa, my man Brock, Jay, and then Rell, because we had an experience together, and we want to talk about the experience. And so Brock was there, Elsa was there. And so, getting 5 people together on the same schedule on the same day is like hard, right? So that's when we have to push that back again, which is the second time we had to reschedule it. So, so I'm like, can we do Monday with Jazz? But Jazz, with just Rell, Jazz, and I. But Jazz had to take care of her dog, her puppy. And so then, I was like, well, Rell, and that's when I was reached out to you and I was like, hey, can you do Monday? Because C's is you just flexible as a motherfucker. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, I had to free up my time, figure out what prioritized me, as a person, as an artist.
Right,
as a
right.
creator.
Yeah, and I love having you here. So, so it just kind of got all messed up. And, she said today was good, and I said, okay, but I guess maybe I didn't double confirm, because usually we could just say the day and she's boom. So she might pop in. We might get the surprise. She might pop in. She got
the keys to the crib?
Yeah, man. I leave the door. Oh, she's on her way now, so she's gonna pop on in. So yeah,
cool.
No problem. That's gonna make that just adds texture into the podcast.
Well, I think she keeps us on like track, and she has this little.
She's got her shit, yo.
Yeah,
she's got her shit. Like I saw the post. I made a post, and you probably saw it, where I was just commending them because her and Jazz, like, you need to have solid people in your world if you want to move forward. This lone wolf shit, I mean, you can get kind of far, but at the end, if you don't have people that are just there, like there to support you, there to check you when you need to be checked, there to celebrate you when you need to be celebrated, it gets real hard.
I'm glad you got them.
You and me both, man, because Rell kind of. I met Rell through a friend, and we were doing another podcast, and I was producing and recording and stuff like that. And then that podcast kind of fell apart. And, Rell, I asked her about, hey, I have an idea. And she was like, yeah, let's get it.
It'd be pod beef out here. Like,
listen, bro.
Egos get in the way?
Nah, well, egos did kind of get in the way, but why that one fell apart was because the person who the podcast was for, she was busy and she wasn't in a position to, you see, I choose my words right. She was not in a position to give it the attention that it needs.
Yeah.
Because on my end, so if you were like people approach me all the time, and now like as I'm doing more of these reels and whatnot, and people are reaching out, they're like, yo, like what you doing? They want to work with me, which is a blessing. I'm like, yo, this is great. I'm happy about that. The problem is that they don't understand the amount of work that goes into this.
Yeah.
Like once we stop recording, the time that it takes for me to transfer files off the cameras, the time it takes for me to re-encode files so that I can then do what I need to do to edit, then the actual editing time. So like a 1 or 2 hour episode, I might have like 3 or 4 hours into just the basic editing and all that stuff. Then doing like those reels and things like that, that's more time. Uploading takes time. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. And so anybody who wants to work with me and they're not cutting a check, like if I believe in you, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. But I need for you to put in, at least look like you're fucking sacrificing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you don't be, don't schedule and then the first chance you get back out because of whatever, you don't want to let this other person down. You don't want to let, and that's essentially what happened. That's why things fell apart, because I'm like, yo, I know you don't know the amount of work that I put in after the fact to get the final product done. I don't want to have to throw that in your face, but I think you need to understand that it's a slap in the face for me to be on a weekly basis putting 4 to 5 to 6 hours of my time, which if I was getting paid for this, you were talking $200-$300 an hour potentially with everything that needs to be done.
Yeah,
I'm doing this for free for us generally, but for you, and then you can't be bothered to make sacrifices on your end.
Right.
So, you see what I'm saying?
Well, hopefully they can figure it out in a different season, another season. Everything happens for a reason. People really move outside of integrity a lot of times, man. They want to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You got to commit, man. If this is what you want to do, then we got to see it.
Agree, man.
I see it. It's plain and simple, bro.
Well, I mean, a lot of times people don't understand what is required of you, what is required to operate in certain spaces. That there's just certain responsibilities that come with certain spaces, and the more success that you want, the more is required of you, and not just in your basic like skills, talents, knowledge, or whatever, but there is also like the little things like showing up, right. Which is a big thing. Showing up, putting in extra energy, effort, asking, hey, is there anything else that I can do? Right. Thinking ahead, like even like with Rell a few weeks ago, we drink here, have soft drinks and stuff like that. She showed up with sodas to add to the thing, right? I don't have to say I didn't even think about that, but that I'm like, yo, that is so fucking great.
It's part of the show.
It's part of the show, and she was thoughtful enough to contribute in any way that you can. And a lot of people, man, they just think that their presence is the gift. And of course it's a gift, but at a certain extent, if you're not doing more, then you're actually dragging everybody down. And in that particular situation, the person who was going to benefit the most from the show, she was dragging us down because, and in her defense, she had a lot going on, but she didn't do a great job of managing or just recognizing that, like, you got to make decisions. Like, do you want to protect your relationship with me and the podcast and the 2 or 3 other people that are involved, or do you want to protect your situation with this person who's a friend who you're doing a friend thing for? Like, you're showing me that this is not really that important to you.
Right.
So not even in the apology.
Right.
Like, I didn't feel like she never really acknowledged that, like, oh yeah, I understand, my fault, won't happen again. Because I'm not a hard person. I'm understanding, but.
Well, you better hope she don't listen, man. She about to get on her phone real quick, post up a video or talking shit at the cam. This about to be Power Wars all over again. She might get a mic just for this. Like,
well, you know what, man? Like, if she does, she does, man. I mean, it's not, and I'm not even trying to throw her under the bus or nothing like that. It's just being honest. It's just being honest about the situation. And then even after the fact, like, I thought we would be okay. And we're not. Like, she was giving me the cold shoulder and stuff like that. So
that's immature, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, man, people are going to do what they're going to do. And it's not my job to always hold people's hands. Like, if I try to hold your hand and you snatch your hand away, then you don't want me to hold your hand. And so I got to let you go. Because I will put my hand out. I'll even grab your fucking hand if I feel strong enough about the situation. But if you're pulling your shit away, then I can't do nothing about that. So
right.
So yeah, you got to get you a Rell, you got to get you a J Figs, you have to get people in your world. You got to get you a C's.
Yeah. I'm here for y'all.
You know all that. So yeah. All right. So in self-destruction, see, y'all thought I was gonna lose track of that. Didn't even lose track of Sesame Street either, right? So So it was Boogie Down Productions, which is KRS-One, D Nice and Miss Melody, rest in peace, Miss Melody. Stetsasonic, which is D-Light, Daddy-O, Wise, and Frukwan. Cool Mo D, MC Light, Dougie Fresh, Just Ice, Heavy D, and Public Enemy, with Chuck D and Flavor Flav.
I know Heavy D, I know Public Enemy.
And rest in peace, Heavy D, yeah.
I know MC Light, I know KRS-One, the rest of those guys. Yeah. Yeah. Old heads.
Let's see. And then I can't even remember the West Coast versions. Let's see. It's not Stop the Violence.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I was walking down the street and this, like, I don't know. I don't want to call him a junkie. I'm going to just call him a junkie. This junkie was walking adjacent on the other side of the block. He was just talking to himself. Yeah, man, I met Heavy D. I seen him. He was driving this nice red Corvette. He was getting all the bitches. He had all the money. I was down in Florida with him. Yeah, I partied with him. Yeah, I knew Heavy D. I was just like, who the fuck is Heavy D?
Oh shit!
But it's the light skinned guy, goatee.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen, classic. All right, so we all in the same gang. That was the West Coast version.
Okay.
And let's see who was in it. And look, man, this was my time. This was my era, and I should remember this stuff. But you know, sometimes my recall isn't the same. But I know Michelle A was in it.
Okay.
It's produced by Dr. Dre.
Yeah,
okay.
Makes sense.
So King T, Body and Soul, Def Jeff, Michelle A, Tone Loc, Above the Law, Ice-T, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, JJ Fad, Young MC, Digital Underground, Oaktowns 357, MC Hammer, and Eazy-E.
Cool.
Right. So let's see, what year was this?
Yeah.
This was 1990, right? And Stop the Violence was like 1989, 1990. So this is a situation where artists see that there's something wrong in the community. Everything's going off the rails. One coast makes the record. The other coast feels left out in a good way, gets the permission and does their own to help, right? So these are also the same people that if society was not so harsh on rappers, they would have been on Sesame Street because they cared. Now you fast forward to 2023, motherfuckers they're not engaged. They're not thinking about you know what I mean? They're very self-involved.
Right.
So that may be one of the reasons why we don't we don't see any clips of the Migos on Sesame Street
Right.
doing a basic ABC rap with Kermit
and they
all
could
that.
do that. Like, why not? Right.
Exactly. So I hope. Oh, go ahead. My fault, man.
I'm just saying, and for the white people, we should look up the people who participated in the "We Are the World, We Are the Children."
Yo,
just so
how
they
about
know.
We
Yeah.
Are the World? Listen, bro. I remember where I could take you. We can get in the car, and I can take you right where I was standing when I was in the Hands Across America, right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what was that Stop the Violence promotion? I thought it was Hands Across America, but because
So-
it's the stick figures holding hands, right?
Right. And what they did was, God damn, you done took me back. Like I just time traveled to when I was.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So We Are the World.
That's
So
not
this
even like a good song, really. Like
We Are the World. Listen, my man Lionel Richie was one of the producers, so you gonna chill. Nah, it's not a song. It's not a song. It wasn't a song to be vibing to like that, but
it was exposure. It was a call to action. I get
it was a call of action. So that was 1985. But so to go along with that, we had a human chain went from coast to coast.
That actually happened.
That actually happened. And I was part of that chain. A little boy.
Oh.
I was a little boy.
I didn't know what you were getting at. I was like, what? You were part of the We Are the World?
Just that whole thing. So it was like the benefit Africa, because Africa was struggling. And I think, and I might have been confusing things, but there was also Hands Across America.
Okay.
And what they did was at a certain time, a chain of people, everybody went to, they had it all tracked out. Like they even had for bodies of water, they had scuba divers connected.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. You see what
That's
I'm saying?
cool.
Yeah. So, and I could tell you exactly where I was at. So
You
I
were on
know
the block. You were out here somewhere.
I was on Market at the intersection of Market Street and Lee Boulevard, right pretty much where the median, the thoroughfare, where on Lee Boulevard there's a median, and I was in the crosswalk.
Did it feel special, or was it just sweaty and kind of like?
Nah, it felt
how long do we
special.
have to
It
do
was
this?
powerful.
Yeah.
It was powerful. It was a moment, man, and it's just indicative of, people caring, like it was thoughtful, like it was very intentional, And so thank you for bringing that up, because I completely forgot about that.
You about to cry
that
now?
moment. No. It's just it kind of just makes me sad because we're so connected now, like digitally, like we have so much access to each other, but yet we're so walled off from one another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
Like you can't just talk to somebody anymore.
everybody is they're protective. Like Khaled, the song "No New Friends" with Drake. It's like no new friends. Like I get it. Like yeah, you got money. You worried about people trying to get into your camp because they want something from you, but like you're putting that energy out in the world, and for you that makes sense because you're Khaled and you're Drake and you guys are at the top. Like so, your world is going to be small, but you're singing that, you're putting that energy out in the world. And now you got regular folk talking about no new friends, no new friends. Right. Like, yo, your network is your net worth. The people around you are who's going to rise you or bring you down. Right. And again, if you by yourself, it's hard. So yeah, nah, man. So it just makes me sad when I think about that. In fact, Khaled, as positive as DJ Khaled is, like on the surface, a lot of his shit is toxic. Like when you think about it, like the whole like I hate that. They don't want you to do this.
Right. That's different for everybody. And now people are looking at motherfuckers in the community even, or at their job. Or
I'll bring it even a little deeper than that. It puts you in a frame of mind that you have adversaries. And you put your adversaries ahead of every decision that you make.
Right.
They don't want us to have a pool bigger than Kanye, right? There's this fictitious enemy. Maybe the enemy's out there, but so you have people talking about they hating on you. They just angry. Who the fuck is they?
Right.
Like, I don't want to think about people who don't like me or who don't want to see me move ahead, because every time I think about them, I'm not thinking about the path forward.
I'm glad you put it that way, because when people say, who's they? And I think of like the invisible people above, but really it's like, who are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nobody.
Right. Like, if you're going to be if I'm going to acknowledge enemies that I know their name, their face, their location, and why they're angry or upset at me. Mm-hmm. Those are the enemies I need to be concerned about.
Right.
This whole general idea of they, like they. So you have people out here that don't make moves because they are so concerned about they, like the all these people that are hating on them. They don't want to see them. See, they don't want to see me be great. They don't want to see me be great. Yo, why are you worried about them? Like, first of all, they don't even exist. Right. You're not that important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So it's just weird. It's all weird to me. It's all very weird. Like, I know he means well, but I just think a lot of the things that he puts out there is kind of toxic. It's borderline toxic, because it really does have people second guessing. It has people putting up more walls. It has people worried about who's going to get in their way. Nah, man, just do your thing.
I mean, yeah, the people that aren't strong, I guess it's really a lot of those people out here. Huh? I can't think for themselves. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but like, the more I do and the more I like interact with the community, I'm like, yo, it's a lot of dickheads out here.
Well, there's people that have a lot of dickhead moments. That's the way I put it. Like, we've all had moments where we did some dumb shit, right?
Right.
We're not dumb across the board. We just had a dumb moment. Mm-hmm. There's moments that we had that we were an asshole or we were upset or we did something. Okay. That's just a moment. But for the person that's just meeting us for the first time in that moment, like, do you want them to really think that you the asshole or the fuck up or the whatever?
Right.
So when people are acting up, I just chalk it up to, like, all right, they just having a moment. Now, if they keep having moments, then I'm like, you're an asshole.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So you give grace. Okay.
I always try to give grace.
Yeah, because I was starting to think of motherfuckers that you probably wouldn't give grace. I started thinking of examples. I'm like, you started prefacing, like, yeah, if you're habitual in these actions, then
yeah. That's, I mean, like, we all have our moments, right?
We're works in progress. We're learning. You got to learn from it.
That's part of the human experience, bro. That's part of the human experience. So
I was about to bring up Kanye. I was like, oh, you don't give Kanye grace?
Nah.
I started giving more grace as of recently, because I started thinking, I'm like, yo, there's so many people who don't know about Black culture. There's people who don't know about Emmett Till to this day.
And he doesn't either.
He doesn't?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't read books.
He knows about Emmett Till. He has it in his song.
He can know of Emmett Till. He does. I doubt he knows Emmett Till. And maybe if he does, at this point he does, because there's been a whole movie. But my point is this is a Negro that has celebrated the fact that he doesn't read books. They have a movie of
Emmett Till?
Yeah.
What the fuck
came
is that
out
about?
that year. It's about Emmett Till. It's about the thing.
Oh, like his whole life? Because
the whole thing.
Because it climaxes at that, and I thought that was just it.
I think it's after. I haven't seen it. I refuse to see it, bro. I don't need to. Well, so I have a minor in African American history and culture.
From where?
University of Delaware.
Okay, tell you.
Okay. I've also taken courses on the Holocaust, and I've seen the footage of Holocaust people.
Why'd you want to do that though first? I'm sorry.
Because it was a course. It was a summer course, and I was trying to fulfill credits, and it just looked interesting to me at the time. I had no idea that I mean, I'm happy that I saw it, but at the same time, the information that I was exposed to, this left me, I've had my fill for a lifetime. I have very limited free time. So the last thing that I want to do is watch something emotional like that, especially when I've learned about it and you know what I'm saying? So it not for me, no. But I recommend you seeing it.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So for me, just me personally, but Kanye West has celebrated the fact that he doesn't read books.
You always catch me with this man. Let me leave him alone.
Yo, I mean, like seriously, like you celebrate. He celebrates not reading books. He celebrates not listening to anybody because he's the smartest person.
Yeah.
So he's a person that's not interested in learning. He's a person who's not, if he takes up a cause, it's because it's going to benefit him some way, some shape, somehow.
Yeah, so he's just elitist. And
he is self-serving. It's not to say that he's not smart. It's just to say that his narcissism is intellectually crippling to him. So, yeah, no.
That's a shame. So you don't watch any slavery movies or anything like that? Or?
The last thing the last slavery movie I watched was, oh man, I can't remember nothing.
Django.
Nah, I did see Django. That was a spaghetti film. Right, spaghetti western, more or less.
I said the Django. My bad, y'all.
Yeah, the Django. The Revolt movie. Come on.
Nation something with the guy who revolted. Yeah. Nat Turner. Yeah. There you go. You know that guy?
I couldn't remember the name.
Nat Turner. I don't really know what he did, but yeah.
He tried to get the slaves together to revolt. Killed a lot of white people. That's why they didn't want that movie to be seen in movie theaters, because it was freaking white people out. Like the idea that there's a lot of slave revolt like that happened that has never been reported.
Okay, so Nat Turner's just one case.
He's
just like
one
Harriet
of the most public,
because or Rosa Parks.
See, those are the safer ones, and Nat Turner is on the lower end of being considered a safe story that they are comfortable enough to share and tell. But they won't tell you the stories about wet nurses taking needles and puncturing the back of infant babies, like, because the slave, they would get the slaves to be wet nurses for the slave master's wife and the kids. And so they would have to nurse the slave master's child before they could nurse their own kids.
Right.
Their own kids would be starving. So they used to do things like take a needle, and while they're holding the baby, killing the baby. Like on the low. There was a lot of, people were like, oh man, they didn't fight back. Nah, them fucking slaves fought back. There was a lot of things that they did to fight back. So
wow. It's crazy how it's to get that low in order to, I don't know, get some sort of justice. Like,
yeah. I mean, could you imagine you're trying to feed your son? And I'm like, nah. Give me that.
Right.
Whatever's left after my kid eats, your kid can have whatever. Like, how would you feel?
Right. I didn't even know that happened.
Right. There's a lot of things, and that's why they banning books in Florida. That's why that's why, a lot of people are uncomfortable. And shit, I graduated from UD almost, 20 something years ago. So I know for a fact that what I was taught was, even though at the time it was pretty heavy and pretty graphic, is nowhere near as graphic or as heavy as it should have been. I'm pretty sure that information was whitewashed a little bit. It's, I mean, it's, you don't want to get people angry because some of the things you just, it'll just make you angry. So no, the movies come out, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Right. I'm good. I don't. I've read the story. I've read the literature. I've learned the history. I've been exposed to it, and I personally can't handle it because it just makes me almost violently angry. Yeah. And then considering what's going on in politics with DeSantis and Trump and Elon Musk and, all these people who are really trying to send us back 200 years.
Yeah.
So.
In what way exactly, though?
Controlling the narrative, controlling knowledge. The book ban.
Elon is part of that too?
Elon is spearheading this shit.
I remember you had something on him about, you posted something. What was that about again? You were like on that nigga. He was like gunning for him. I'm like, yo, you need to chill. Like,
what you think? Elon can come for me. All right, he so in the clip he was talking about people working from home. Mm-hmm. So his
Twitter
thing on just in general. So he said that people need to stop being lazy, get off their asses, get off their laptops, and come back into the office to work. Mm. Okay. Because in his words, it's not equal, it's work inequality. If some people can work from home and others can't. So you and I, with our jobs, we can't work from home. Right? So it's not fair that we can't work from home, but Rell can work from home.
Right. I see what you're saying.
So he thinks that's unfair. So since you and I can't work from home, Rell shouldn't be able to work from home. Mm. But we don't have the kind of jobs that there isn't even an option to work from home.
Right.
So how is that not equal? Mm. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to create a culture war between Rell and us. So we're supposed to be angry at Rell because she can work from home and we can't. We're supposed to feel put upon because of that. And so should the construction workers, and so should the surgeons, and so should the nurses, and so should the manufacturing people.
Yeah, that sounds stupid now that you're putting it like that, because they have a different service,
exactly.
that they signed up for. They know they have to be in action.
Right.
Face to face, especially if you're a doctor. What the fuck? How is that even possible remotely? Like, just talking stupid now. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right. And my ex, she's a doctor, and she did work from she could do Zoom things. There are telemedicine options, but the point is that his problem is that when the world started opening back up, mm-hmm. he decided that he wanted everybody that was working from home in his organizations, he wanted them back, and they pushed back. They're like, nah, I don't want that. I don't want the parts.
Contradictory. How can you say such a thing when you're spearheading automation, Exactly. Have you used AI at all?
No, I haven't. Not yet. I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot of hypocrisy there with C's because, but so his problem is that when he did that and people pushed back, he said either come into work or quit. So they quit.
Right.
So he thought that he would be able to replace those people, that talent. He hasn't been able to. So that's why he's making this push now. Mm-hmm. So here's the other hypocrisy.
Yeah.
He is the CEO of Tesla, Twitter, Solar City, the SpaceX. This another company that is there strictly for creating tunnels for Teslas to ride in.
Okay.
And I think there's one or two other companies, but he's CEO of at least 5 companies. There's no way that he can be present on site for all of those companies every day.
Right.
So no matter what, he's at least working remote for 5 of those organizations.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy. Your whole thing for Tesla, less carbon. You want to save the planet. There's nothing more carbon neutral than people not getting on the road and driving into work to go into office. Staying at home and working means they're not on the roads, which means they're not burning fuel, or they're not even burning electricity, which as to a certain extent, electric cars still require. There's a carbon imprint because depending upon how the electricity is generated. So what is it you're trying to do, sir?
Right, because there's fuel generators that power the electrical poofs. Yeah.
So what's up? So that's why I hate him.
You hate him?
I hate him.
You about to get left, bro. Everybody going to Mars. You gonna be looking crazy. That's like the mini rapture for you. About to be like,
nah, man. But I mean, in having this conversation, can you understand what? Nah, it's okay. It's okay because he's a hateful person.
Yeah,
like everything he's doing, man. Like the whole thing, like with Twitter, he's using Twitter as a platform for Tucker Carlson. DeSantis is using Twitter platform tomorrow to announce his presidency, and he's going to interview Elon Musk is going to interview him, and they're going to do this whole thing.
Okay, it is getting a little scary. Then I see what you're saying.
Right. So he bought Twitter to control information. And then as soon as he got Twitter back, one of the first things he did was he let Donald Trump back on Twitter. You see what I'm saying? So, nah, fuck him.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he got Twitter and he wanted to bring back free speech. What do you even think about free speech? Because I'm hearing arguments like, hey, free speech means that we are able to speak against the government and not necessarily say what we want in terms of hate speech.
That is precisely what free speech is. Free speech is a constitutional right given to the people, which dictates that if we can pretty much say anything, we can speak out against the government. So if we don't like something that the local government doing or the federal government's doing, we can speak out and say, hey, we're dissatisfied. What we can't do is threaten, like a real threat, or like yell fire in a movie, like the stuff that's going to cause.
Yeah, but what about when it comes down to entertainment? Now even podcasting, like what if you said something in the vein of like satire on here and now you're censored?
By who?
I mean, any endorsements possibly.
Okay, but that's consequences, and that's not the government.
Okay.
Because free speech should not supersede one's right to protect their interest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, if I say something crazy and one of my sponsors is like, yo, that's going to hurt our business, they have a right to protect themselves.
So is cancel culture just the consequence?
Yes. It's just a consequence. It's a natural consequence. Like cancel culture has been here. It's just that we have a name for it, and now it just seems really real. It feels real because we're able to label it. But honestly, who's been permanently canceled? No one. There are people, maybe the baby, but no one is. I can't think of anybody who has done something, has been quote unquote canceled, and has not come back in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
Like, yeah. So in terms of Elon Musk saying that he's trying to restore freedom of speech, that's bullshit. Because the Twitter is not the government. Twitter is a platform that generates revenue based on sponsorship, and they have to protect their interests. They have to make sure it's a safe place for everybody to use. So if you get on there, if I get on there and we're talking crazy and then it gets out and then it makes people go away, that hurts their business. So they have every right to protect that. Now, if the government subsidizes Twitter, then freedom of speech kind of fall. Then they could argue that. You know what I mean? Because the government has a hand in the private business. But anybody in the private sector talking about freedom of speech because of a platform,
right?
Like, they don't understand the concept of freedom of speech, First Amendment right. I mean, the motivation, the reason why it's the First Amendment is because when they were drawing up the Constitution, they were coming from kings,
right,
and controlling things where they couldn't speak out against the king. Like the people that were there, they had memories of being like, damn, we couldn't even talk about the damn king without blah, blah, blah happening. So that was why they said, okay, First Amendment, this is the first thing we're going to do. You are allowed to speak out, against the government, and the government cannot retaliate.
Right. We got to put it in the context. Okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why, and then that's why we have the media, because the media is supposed to report on the government, which is part of the First Amendment right, freedom of press. So you can talk about what so it all makes sense. But these guys like Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, they're twisting these values, and they're twisting these rules, and they're twisting these ideologies to fit their narrative. And because most of us did not pay attention in school, or we did not retain this information, and then we're also not paying attention to what's going on in the news in the right way, we're being twisted up in it. And we're having these debates that shouldn't be, that are like 20 years ago, there would have been no debate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. I see what you're saying. Because it's always like a point to educate somebody. Somebody's always coming in on the wrong, and here you are. Hey, this is actually the facts. And that's where arguments start. That's where the
Yeah.
conversations never get resolved for some reason because these people don't know.
They don't know, and then their pride gets in the way, and they don't want to be wrong, and blah, 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 yakety smackety. But, nah, Elon Musk, fuck Elon Musk. Yo, I mean, listen, I actually used to look up to him. Like years ago. I used to, like before I took a look that was a little bit deeper than just the superficial. And what I saw was, hey, this is an entrepreneur who has done some pretty cool things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, because I didn't know any better, I'm like, oh, he's one of the founders of Tesla. Right. And he's doing all these great things. No, what he is he's somebody that I don't know how he got to you know, I know he was involved with PayPal, sold that, made a lot of money, was able to parlay that into eventually getting into Tesla, which is already a small company. Like, right. And just, and so every move he's made is because he's had money, not because he's smart. It's just because
I've heard too, right?
Right. He's not smart. He just has money and he's willing to go in, put his face on it, and then talk the talk. He's just regurgitating shit. Now, I'm not saying he's dumb. He's not as smart as we give him credit for. All the things that he's doing is just, it's somebody else's ideas that he's just presenting or putting together. And I think Tesla, to be honest, I think Tesla would be farther along if they didn't have him in the way with his, you know, because obviously he's not, though that interview on CNN, the guy asked him, he was like, you know, why would you say the things that you say, like when you don't have to say it? He's like, I got freedom of speech. He was like, yeah, I get that, but why would you say things that would ultimately hurt your business? I have freedom of speech. Bro.
Yeah.
Like you can give an answer better than that. I understand you trying to play the game, but you could have just said, because that's how I felt.
Right.
You know, but instead he's doubling down. So nah, man, fuck him.
Damn. Do you idolize any other celebrities, or is it...
I don't idolize anybody.
Since him? I mean, what was your relationship like in terms of like, oh, he was my idol or whatever?
He wasn't my idol. I just admired him.
Yeah.
It was respect. Like, man, like because of what I thought he was doing in the path that I thought he was on and the person I thought he was. But there was a dude, I gotta look it up, his name, but he said straight up, he was like, yo, Elon Musk is evil. And he was like one of his peers. And I was like, oh, that's a little extreme. And it was around the time his company came out with a flamethrower. And the dude was like, yeah, the dude's evil. And then they like showed a clip of Elon Musk talking about, oh yeah, you know, with drone technology, you could put guns on them and do all kinds of fuck shit with, like, yeah, like he was just having this thinking these things. And at the time I'm like, dude, I think you're being a little bit of a hater. No, I was wrong. I apologize, dude. No, he was absolutely right. My man is evil. He's absolutely.
What do you mean? Oh, do you have to be a certain type of person to make weapons and?
Well, to think along those lines, like, you know, I fly a drone. Like the first time I saw the drone, where my mind was like photography, videography, like or just remote control thing. I'm not thinking like, yeah, we could use those things. We can put guns on them and shoot people and not be near them. And like, that's like, where does your mind go when you have these opportunities? Right. You see what I'm saying? What do you think about? What you know? And he always seems to go to the dark side of things. So nah, man, fuck him.
I want to watch that video now just to like see his points. Was it a long video of this guy talking about
the interview?
Yeah.
I don't know how long the video is. The clip is like a minute or two. But nah, he's just not a good person, man. And he's getting involved in our politics, and he doesn't have anybody's interest in heart other than his personal interest. So, and that's the scary part. And because we live in a society where people idolize wealth, like they think just because you have a lot of money, you're by default intelligent, capable, and all these good things. They're going to follow along, not realizing that the person with money, more than likely, we know they're good at accumulating wealth.
Right.
So You know, and you can be good at anything if you make it your singular focus. But that doesn't mean you're intelligent and able to handle other things.
Right.
It's the same trap we ran in with Kanye. It's like, all right, Kanye, you might be really great at making music. And sometimes I even question that because how often do we hear old Kanye records being played in relation to other artists of his era or time, their music being played?
Okay.
I don't hear a lot of his old records being played. When you're a dope artist, your shit, like we still hearing Michael Jackson records played. We still hearing Prince records, Biggie records,
right.
we're hearing their records played pretty regularly. Don't hear Kanye records, old records played like that. So I even kind of question his musical genius, but that's just personally. Personal level, but all the other things that he tries to do, like he's given that lane because he's Kanye West and he's good at one thing, but that doesn't mean it necessarily translates into these other things. And by saying he doesn't read books, that means you're not interested in learning. And if you're not interested in learning, then you're stagnant. So
essentially,
yeah,
that's fundamental. Honestly, just reading
or just being willing to learn, or just being willing to
listen to people, sit down. Listen.
Right. I mean, the whole interview with Sway. You ain't got the answer, Sway.
That is hilarious.
But that Sway was challenging him in a proper way, and he didn't want to be challenged because he's Kanye West.
It ain't Ralph though. That shit was hard. I'm like, yo, why you shitting on him like that?
Yo, because it's fun.
Right.
It's fun.
And that's fucked up. Nah, that's crazy.
Nah, bro. Listen.
No.
Listen, man. We as a society, we gotta adjust. We gotta adjust the people who we idolize, and we gotta stop being distracted by glitter, the shiny, and really look at things beyond the superficial level. So. And I was guilty of it. Now I'm very I'm
investigative.
Yes, there you go. Investigative. Okay. Thank you. Before I decide that I'm going to really be like into somebody, like a LeBron James, that's my guy through and through.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think he represents anything that's not?
I mean, from what we see, no. What have you seen?
I feel like there's some dirt on him. I don't even prioritize watching basketball at all, but I mean, hey, I don't know, man. These guys, to get in a certain position, you just got to think damn,
yeah. So then the question comes, how much damage do they do versus how much good?
Yeah, he donates to schools. He's building.
He built a whole school.
Right.
He built a whole school, and in that school, all the students get sneakers. In that school, the students get bikes. Why? Because when he was coming up, his bike was his escape from his nightmare. He would get on his bike, and so he wanted to give those kids the opportunity to have a way to escape, even if it's for temporarily. That school also has programs for the parents because he recognizes that no matter what you do with the kids, if they're coming home to a toxic environment, the work that was done during the day is going to be undone at night more than likely when they go home. So there's programs for the parents to help them with jobs, education, all those things. He thought everything through. What's up, Rell? Coming in. Yay, Rell is here.
Clap, clap.
Clap, clap. She's going to slide on in. How are you?
What's going on, Rell?
Oh, thank you. Did I leave these in the door? I do. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Come on in. So
could have not been Rell, huh?
I know, right? Car gone, everything. Well, hopefully they would have took the black one instead. They wouldn't have got far. But so as far as LeBron James is concerned, I haven't seen anything other than his flopping at times that leads me to feeling like that he's not somebody that shouldn't be respected or valued.
Right.
Oh, what?
Nothing.
You say no. I want to know. Please tell me if I should not like LeBron
I feel like
James.
There was dirt on
No, sports is not my forte.
Yeah, but I was actually speaking on just outside of sports, like his presence off the court, like everything that he like with the school, and even like when he did the decision and they were giving him a hard time about the decision, he donated that money to the boys club. You know what I mean?
I was trying to like hold back on this because I don't know if it's a fact, but
Okay.
I did see screenshots of him in other girls' DMs. Like, but you got a wife.
I thought he was a family man. No,
Yeah, you seen that too?
no.
Oh,
but I
no.
just like what I know about him is like yes, the school, and yes, that he's been with his wife for
Savannah 20 the whole time.
yeah.
Well, but you saying screenshots,
Yeah, him like trying to get some. Like that's
but that's graphic work, bro.
yeah.
like, I can-
that's what I'm saying. It could be fake. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have two phones. I can literally just change the contact in one phone and say LeBron James, and then and go back and forth.
Yeah.
I can set up a Finster account. I can.
You can't believe nothing now.
You have to verify,
Right.
and you know, even if that's what he does, if he's done those things, he's done those things. But again, that's the damage he's doing at home.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the damage he's doing to the world at large? He's not. He's been nothing but a
Right.
builder.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we all got our shit with us.
Yeah, but how many people have you led astray? I see what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
You see me? You
Yo,
see?
Rell. I didn't
Yes.
know you managed artists.
What you mean?
Somebody hit me up and was like, "Oh, how you on a podcast with my?" And I'm like,
Wait. What's the timestamp?
No, you don't manage.
No, you put her out there, bro.
Oh my bad.
Who's?
No, they lying. What?
I don't manage them
You know
like
what I'm
that.
talking about. You know what I'm talking about, no?
Is that his stage name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I guess for the next.
Well, you have to cut this out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why is that confidential? Like,
because I want to keep the lives separate. I don't want to talk about, and I can get in trouble for
These
like
things.
yeah. So I just don't want. I don't talk. If they ever do come to me and say, "Oh, you have this podcast or you're doing this," I can say I've never talked about what I do. Like they can't get me because I don't talk about it.
okay.
That's why.
respectable.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We needed you for structure because we were just running. I don't
Man, we
know.
was having good, man. It was good. We was having some real shit.
But I can imagine how like serious it would be on people's ears. Like, damn, like they talking about like, damn, I might as well read the
Man,
Bible.
our
Real
people.
quick. Like,
Nah, man. Like
is
it's
variety.
critical thing. It is. It's like when I had the vision of this podcast. Initially, I did want it to be more informative, educational, whatnot. Like it's like Cultured Misfits, like culture, and culture is everything. It's the fun, it's the ratchet, but it's also the serious.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, what sells is the ratchet,
ratchet.
and
talking
the
about
fun.
girls twerking and in the mirror. And
Yo, he was about to go in on me too.
Yo,
he's about to go on.
Wow for that. Why would y'all? I saw your face. I'm like,
I wasn't there that
She
day,
wasn't
but I
there.
saw the episode.
I'm like, yo.
Did you understand what I was saying? Well, first
No,
of all,
because if you want to practice, you can practice, and the only way
I
you're gonna
know.
get better is to practice.
well, okay. So first and foremost, what's very important to remember, right, is those clips. Now, first of all, I edit them intentionally
Yeah,
to be
of course.
insightful, right? Right.
to rattle up? No,
To not rattle, so to speak, but I want you to think, right? I want to challenge people.
you saw the one comment too.
What's that? Which
You
one?
got a comment. They wrote a whole little paragraph.
Oh yeah, we want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. But so that was the point, and so when I also keep in mind that most of the people, 99.9% of the people who see the reel are not going to watch the episode.
Right.
You watch the episode, you see the whole clip, and we're actually we were talking about any kind of dancing, even those stupid TikTok dances. Like that's where that thought first came on when I see these girls and they perfectly. I'm like, yo, these bitches is really just in their room at like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that's where that came from, and it went to twerking because that's what I see the most of. I see the Mocha Fest videos, and it's always just girls twerking.
You know where that comes from? Your algorithm. You fucked up, bro. What's going on, bro?
Well, I mean, yeah. I do. But my algorithm is very diverse. But what I'm saying is when I just see that commonly,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so that I just use that as a basis because, look, I mean, I'm very strategic about my shit. Twerking, the way the word sounds, it incites. There's science to when I do what I do as much as possible. So twerking is a visual thing. If I said those TikTok dances, I don't know what you're going to see in your head when you visualize that. But when I say twerking, everybody knows what a twerk looks like. So therefore, the imagery is put. So that's why I said it the way I said it. So I understand that part. I understand that those people are not going to see the whole episode. They're not going to see the whole thing to get the whole thing, the whole context. But what I thought was funny was like the girl, that the two women that immediately started telling me about the history of twerking and how it's part of the culture. And the one girl said I needed to Google and I needed to learn and find out where the history is. And my response to her essentially was like, I don't care what the history is. I don't care what the cultural significance is, the historical significance is. It doesn't do anything for me. Right. I don't like it. It's not a turn on for me 99.9% of the time. I'm tired of seeing it. But the joke is, can you just imagine you're struggling in life and you're trying to get shit done and you see your partner practicing twerking? It's like, goddamn, like there's better things you probably could be doing with this time, unless it's going on OnlyFans, unless this is a vehicle to make money, success, or whatever. And the girl, the one girl was, she, to her point, I get it. If it makes her happy, like if it makes a person happy, you should support it. But I'm like, y'all are taking it a little bit too seriously. It was a joke. It was a fun moment. Just like, yo, man. And I mean, she hit the nail on the head initially. She was like, it's the same way with guys playing video games. Yeah, you're right. If you're struggling, if you're working hard, if you're doing all these things to try to keep the household afloat, or you're trying to advance your cause and your partner is doing something that is kind of wasteful, yeah, you can make money playing video games as well. But what are the odds are that person is? No, of course you're going to be bugged out about it. Right. So that was the whole point. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now. I don't have a gaming system. I cut that out of my life at the age 13, but the phone games are just as fucking good right now.
Yeah, look at Rell. Don't do that.
And they're so addictive.
What?
Look, man.
I got my little games too on my phone.
I have games too. I'm a full on phone game junkie. Yeah.
The Call of Duty on the phone.
Oh, see, you're deeper. I'm just puzzle games. I'm I'm a quick hitter.
That's the regular game.
You get a certain age, you're like, oh yeah, gotta check in. My lives is
Candy Crush and shit.
Yeah, I'm doing the puzzle games, but I'm trying to make my brain structure better. Yeah, in short bursts. Okay. In short bursts, like. Now, I will admit, full disclosure, so I haven't played my PS5. I got a PS5. I got that shit when you couldn't get them.
Okay.
My sister, bless her heart, while COVID, she was trying to get one for her husband, and she was like on 3 different sites and happened to, at the same time, get to be able to buy 3.
Oh, wow.
Like the Christmas... Huh?
Did she sell the third one?
My nephew got one.
She could have made a flip.
Right, but she was like, yo, and I was like, yo, I'll buy one.
Okay.
I'll buy one off you, right? Just because. I was being a dickhead. Kind of, sort of. So I played for a little bit, but then I stopped. I haven't played in like a year and a half. I really haven't played because I haven't had time, right? So I just mounted mine to my wall in my room so it's more sleek. I was using it as for my YouTube TV and all that. Like, it's a media center. That's what I've been using it for. But I've been jonesing to play Grand Theft Auto 5 again. I finished it or whatever, so I'm going to start over and like maybe once a week, take a little time and just play. Okay. But
for what?
Just because it's just... Oh, so that's right. You haven't played since age 13.
Yeah. Oh, you counting oh, damn. You doing the calculations. Like.
Yeah, so that game.
Yo, you weird for that, bro. he weird for that.
Yo, nah, but no. So I love Grand Theft Auto. So if they came out with a new one tomorrow, I would get that game and I would play it. Like, I just enjoy the game. And when I play that game, it feels like I'm in Los Angeles. Like, it's just the feeling, the music, all of that. It's just, and so you got to let your lizard brain exercise itself so your regular brain can chill. And the last time I was in Los Angeles, I was in the hills. This is true story. No cap.
Mm-hmm.
So we're driving in the hills. We're outside of Malibu. And I'm driving and I'm like, why the fuck does this street seem familiar? Like I'm driving and I've never been there. I'm like, this is really familiar. This is. So then when I get home and I'm playing the game, I was on that street in the game of CJ's house. I was like, holy shit.
You respected it more, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense why my brain kind of connects. Like when I play the game, I really do feel like I'm in California. Like the visually and the sound, especially when I play with my headphones on, and I really do feel like I'm driving a fucking car. So yeah, I need to exercise that. So
he be fried.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. But if you played the game, you'd understand.
I played the game, bro. I didn't play like the missions or nothing. I was out there killing people. I was 13, like you said.
See what he do?
It's violent.
It's all the violence. This is a violent motherfucker.
You gonna stop at the stoplights and shit? Like, come on.
Sometimes I do. Just to listen to the music. That was the draw.
You gotta go outside. Touch some grass, bro.
Nah, I'm always outside. But I'm just saying, come on. I mean, I did it. I've played all of them since 4. I have all of them. I finished all of them. Mm-hmm. I done slept with hundreds of hookers and then killed them after I got my money. You can do that in the game. You can sleep with a hooker.
You never played that shit?
No.
What? Really?
Oh, it's
I feel like ladies love GTA. They be like, yo, let me stop at the stoplight.
I know about Nintendo 64, James Bond.
James Bond is the shit. 007 GoldenEye.
Smoke on some James Bond on Nintendo 64.
Yo, no, I still have my 64 and I have GoldenEye. So you ever want to have a session?
I can kill you. I got you.
That'd be fun. You gotta record that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's GoldenEye, but I just remember the cartridge was blue. No, I'm not sure which one it is. The one I used to play.
Oh, you probably had the special Jamaican version.
Probably. We was trying to have
Brown Suga. I had to welcome you in. I had to welcome you in properly, man. I had to welcome you in properly. So yeah.
He killed you with that one.
He always tries, but it's okay.
Nah, man, but yeah, they was killing me with they weren't killing me in the comments, but yeah, people were really upset.
It's engagement.
I know, but it's funny to me. Like, did you feel a way about me in the tour content, or did you understand what I was talking about in terms of just the usage of time?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, if you're going through, like, it was funny to me because it had me imagine, like, you come home, you just did overtime because y'all trying to make rent. Right. And she comes, she's working in the mirror.
Right, that's it. That's the imagery.
And you're like, girl, you're supposed to do overtime. When I said overtime, I didn't mean this type of overtime.
Exactly. So, that's the imagery. That was the picture I was painting.
But I think, dancing is a form of expression, and I think that it's just like fun, right? So yeah. Everyone needs their outlet. And if that's your outlet, let it be your outlet.
Yeah, just make sure the bills are paid. Your business is taken care of and handled and whatnot. So it's just, but what you described is exactly what. Every time I see a TikTok dancer or a girl twerking on that thing, that's exactly what I think. It's just like, yo, she really was probably practicing like just at home, like.
But the funny thing is, the way that you think about that is how I feel about men playing video games.
Right? Yeah, it's interchangeable. Yeah. It's mine is the dancing, the online dancing thing. Mm-hmm. Yours is video game. I'm sure you have something else. Sees like there's just something that it's an activity you just don't respect. Mm-hmm. Like. It's like, wow, there's better things you could be doing with your time. Now, if you're a fully accomplished human being and all your business is handled, you can do what the fuck you want. I'm not going to judge you. But as long as we are, 1 or 2 bad decisions away from being homeless or all the way fucked up, I'm going to need for you to make sure that you're not spending too much time
doing
on the bullshit.
That is.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I've been spending more time outside. So, I can't even say, like, I'm trying to think, like, what have I not been doing? I rode a bike 5 miles yesterday.
That's
only
good.
5?
Only 5? I've never.
Was it a single gear bike? Or
No,
was
I had
it?
multiple. I rented a bike from the riverfront and did that whole path.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
See,
nice.
I'm messing with you. Congratulations. That's
Yo,
good.
that
shit.
shit
you
was
over here
fun.
trying.
Yeah,
Yeah, what is wrong with you today?
I'm just having fun.
Yeah, let him cook.
What's in here?
That's water. Would you like a? Would you,
You
like
need
us?
some sugar or something to make you
No, I
nicer.
already had some sugar. I already had some. You want here?
Some sugar.
Brown sugar. There you go, my dear.
But
It's
yeah,
great
no,
to
I'm
have
about to
you.
go.
I watched it.
I'm about to go kayaking at the end
Where?
of the week. The
That's
riverfront,
nice.
they do all that shit at the
Wow.
environmental center over there.
That's
You
really
want
nice.
kayak in that damn river?
What's wrong with that? You have like dead bodies gonna float up.
No, but you know what runs off into that river? All the
And
rain
you go
and
to the
street.
beach.
Right.
Right next to
That's
New York.
salt water.
Right next to New York.
That's salt water.
That don't mean nothing.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do, bro. That's
Everything's
gonna
gonna
be fun.
kill you now.
Nah, I
Can't
just
eat
don't.
nothing.
I'm cool with the death. I'm just not cool with the oil stuff.
You're not
on
gonna
my
when you
skin.
go kayaking, you don't get wet. You don't get in the
Hopefully,
water.
theoretically, you don't. Hopefully, you
You
don't.
get wet though. You wouldn't want to wear regular clothes.
Right, but you're not gonna.
I'm really just being dramatic for the sake of
Okay.
being dramatic. I had the idea of having a damn jet ski rental business on that damn river,
yeah?
but the current's a little bit too.
I would not jet ski on that water.
No, but your kayak.
Could you imagine you with a jet ski and that nasty water spraying in your face? That's different.
As different as being in the water up in Jersey at the beach.
Listen,
Look at you see she got caught.
Yeah,
In it-
that
in
Jersey
it.
water is different.
that's salt water.
Hypocrisy.
Step with some glass.
Nah, man, the beach we go to is clean.
Okay.
It's super clean.
In New York?
Nah, it's
Or
Sandy
in New
Hook.
Jersey. Okay.
Same, but I mean the same thing. So
When's the New York trip again?
we haven't figured that out, but we're gonna do it multiple times.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's the hope. Did you work on the flag? She's like, no, I ain't do your damn flag. You know, the flag so that we have our
Probably this
campsite.
weekend.
Okay.
I've been checking the weather, and the weather is just not cooperating. It's going to be like 73 on next
So I have another
Wednesday.
month. All right, got it.
No, I'm just saying it could turn at any moment. It could turn at any moment. So I'm so happy, and since you're here, even though
Let's get to the ratchet stuff.
you know.